Hello, class. Welcome back. Today we're going to go ahead and cover section 2.4. But before I go ahead and start that section, just a quick little announcement, right? I wanted to go ahead and give the entire class um, just a friendly reminder if you're on campus or you decide to go on campus, remember to check in, right, at the SEC building or CLA every day, right? Be sure you're wearing your colored wristband and also make sure that your mask is covering your mouth and nose at all times, whether you're inside or outside the classroom. To the site to go ahead and check in is going to be the one shown on your screen. And all these links are going to be in the description of the video below. Also, if you need a loaner laptop, that's going to be where who you would contact, right, to go ahead and borrow a laptop for these semesters in case you need one. If you haven't already done so, please participate in discussion one, right? I think almost everybody has already done so, right? The majority have already posted the video on discussion one, so go ahead and do that. For discussion one, it won't be necessary to reply to someone else because of the technical difficulties some were experiencing during week one, and that's all right. All right, that's all right. But starting for discussion two onward, you do have to record yourself giving, answering the questions on the screen, and you're to reply to at least one other classmate for full credit, right? For full credit. Um, yeah, so a lot of you were asking about Excel, right? Do I have to go by Excel? How much is it? Is there a student discount? Well, I made an announcement, I believe yesterday, the day before, stating that Lone Star College provides you with free Office 365, right? That includes Microsoft Office, PowerPoint, Excel, OneNote. And you can use it for any of your classes, right? Word, um, so please go ahead and take advantage of that, right? And I believe it's on multiple devices, right? So you're able to have it on your laptop, and I would highly recommend installing that on your phones as well in the event, that hey, you forget your laptop or anything like that, or you lose it, right? Knock on wood. So at least you'll be able to access that information from your phone, right? At least you'll be able to access that information from your phone. So for that information, please go ahead and check the announcements. If you do not see the announcements in D2L, go to the course page, right? And you'll see it in the course page. The course page, you go ahead and see the tutoring and other resources module, and it's gonna have all that information. If you have tested positive for COVID, do not come to school, right? Do not come to class. If you have if you have face-to-face classes or hybrid classes, don't come to class. Let them know, let Lone Star College know at that email right here on the screen, and also let your instructor know. But if you're not going to campus, you didn't go to campus at all, that won't be necessary. And also, right there, so you can go ahead and contact them at lsc-reportvirus@lonestar.edu, or go ahead and contact that phone number there, right? The COVID class contingency. Since this class is already online, right? If the college was to go ahead and fully transition online again, it's not going to change, right? It's not going to change anything. The best time to do your homework assignments in Connect Math is right after watching these video lectures, right? So as soon as you're done watching them, right, you may on one window you may want to have the video open and you attempt the problems as a walkthrough. As a walkthrough, if you need to repeat something, you can go ahead and rewind the video and so forth. But the sooner you do it after taking notes and watching the lecture videos, the better understanding you will have when approaching the homework assignment. Rewrite your notes as soon as possible, right? If you're writing these notes, right, when you're watching the video and you're speeding through them, I highly recommend you rewrite your notes, because whenever you rewrite your notes, you're going to have a better understanding of of what I was talking about in the video. The more of these you do, the better, right? So if you do one of these problems, homework problems, and you kind of understand it, the more than likely you're not going to understand it for the exam. So what I recommend you do is, try another example to make sure you fully understand, right? And you would be able to fully understand the problem if you're able to do it without looking at your notes, without looking at an example, right? And this goes back to, for those who play guitar or skate, or they have, specific hobbies. How do you get good at that? By putting in hours, right? By putting in work, by putting in hours, by doing it every day, right? So let's remember again that tutoring at LAC Kingwood is free, right? They go ahead and offer um, free tutoring online and in person, by appointment only. So go ahead, if you have any questions regarding the assignment or lecture, go ahead and schedule an appointment. It's free and easy, right? To go ahead and go ahead and do that. If for some reason you can't because of your schedule, you can also contact me, right? A few of you have already contacted me regarding the homework, right? You can My office hours are via Zoom, right? And it's Monday through Friday from 12 to 5 p.m. If for some reason, right, you work, you get off at 7 or 9, still send me out an email, right? If I'm available, I'm gonna do my best to log in and help you with what I can. And the same thing for the weekend, right? If right, if you're not sure, just send me out an email, right? You're not gonna know until you try. Um, and that's what we've been doing this past week and the first week. Some of you have dropped by with 1 minute questions, right? Like, hey, you mentioned this in the video. What did you mean? Or, hey, I got this number, or what am I doing wrong, right? Some of these questions are less than a minute, and that's fine. If you need a further, more thorough explanation, I've been doing that as well, right? We've been on these sessions for about like 45 minutes, 20 minutes. It all depends on you. So just go ahead and send me out an email so we can go ahead and schedule something, right? And for week one, the Connect math grades, they're great. The majority of all of you had a 90% or above on chapter one homework and section 2.1 homework, right? So even though, these are a degree requirements, the statistics scores seem scary, right? If you're on top of, if you're on top of the class, um, you're gonna do great. You're gonna keep doing great. So that same energy we had going into week one, let's keep having that same energy, right? Because it's proving results. And now we're going to go ahead and get started on section 2.4, which is the scatter plot, right? So we're going to be giving values, right? We're going to be giving data, and a row or a column of those numbers is going to be values on an x-axis, and those are going to be your independent variables, right? Independent variables. And the other values, right, on your y-axis is going to be the dependent variables, right? Your depending variables. And to go ahead and get a further explanation of this, let's please go ahead and read the definitions, right? Let's go ahead and please read the book prior to this. So whenever you're graphing these, right, whenever you're graphing the scatter plot, you could get four, depending on your plot points, right? You can define the graph, right? You can go ahead and define the graph as, if you see that everything is starting from the bottom left and rising to the bottom right, right? It's a line, right? You can pretty much say the data, right? You can pretty much draw a line across like that. You'll call that a positive linear relationship. If you are, well, what happened there? If your data is going down, right? In other words, if your data has like a negative slope, it's going to be negative linear relationship. If your data is curved, right? That's not a line. So you just call that a nonlinear relationship. And if your scatter plot is everywhere, you don't see, slope, you don't see a trend, then there's going to be no relationship there, right? So now that we know these four different options, let's go ahead and get started on example one. And we'll go ahead and do example one by hand, right? By hand. So hours spent jogging, right? A researcher wishes to determine whether the number of hours a person jogs per week is related to the person's age. Construct a scatter plot for the given information, right? So I'm told here that my age, right, my x values are 45, 58, 62, 31, and 27. And I'm told that the hours, my y, is a 4.5, 6, 4, 1.5, and 8. So now I'm going to go ahead and plot these values, right? I'm going to go ahead and plot these values. So that means at x equals 45, at x equals 45, I am going to go up to 4.5, right? About 4.5. So that is about there, right? That is about there. Let's make it a little darker, right there, there. For 58, right, it's going to be somewhere between here. It's going to be 6. So let's go up there to 6 is somewhere about here. For 62, this is going to be 4. For 31, right, this is going to be 1.5. And for 27, this is going to be 8. Right, this is going to be my scatter plot. And what do we think? Is this going to be a positive linear relationship, a negative linear relationship, a non-linear relationship, or no relationship at all? No relationship, right? This is no relationship, right? There's no relationship there. And that's all you would have to do, right? You would have to construct and plot, right? Pretty straightforward. Now we're going to go ahead and try this in Excel, right? We're going to go ahead and try this in Excel. So let's go ahead and open Excel. You can go ahead and have you noticed before, you can go ahead and have your data exported, right? You would open it, you would get something like this. What you would then do is you're going to go ahead and highlight your data, right? You're going to highlight the axes as well as, everything included from the axes labels all down to every value that you have. You're then going to click on insert, right? You're going to go ahead and click on insert. On the right, under charts, I want you to click on this down arrow, right? For that little dot graph, right below the bar graph, but to the right of the pie graph. And you get all these options, right? You're going to get option 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then bubble. I want you to click the first one. Click the first one, and hey, right? That's my points that are plotted. I want a title, right? I'm going to go ahead and give a title, as well as I want my x-axis and my y-axis labeled. So still on this far left, right? On this far left, while you're having the graph clicked, you're going to click on Add Chart Element. Then you're going to go to Axis Titles, and primary horizontal is going to be your x-axis. So you're going to go ahead and click on that. And when you do, right, it gives you the option to title it. I'm going to go ahead and call this age X, right? I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. Go ahead and click on R chart element. Go to axis titles, and then I'm going to click on primary vertical, right? And this I'm going to call, what was the other value? Oh, hours, right there, hours. Y, there we go. And the title of this graph, I'll just call it example 2. Right, so this is another example, right? This is the second example. And again, is this positive? Is there a positive, negative, or no relationship at all? For this one, there's no relationship. Right, again, no relationship. And that's fine, right? Right? Now we're going to go ahead and do a third example to understand it better in Excel, right? So it's another example, right? With given information, a column of X values, a column of Y values. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to highlight up to there. We're going to go ahead and click Insert. And I want this scatter plot, right? Chart element, primary horizontal. I'm going to label these. I'll label it my X. Oh, what's going on? Go ahead and try that again. Go ahead and axis titles, primary horizontal is going to be age X, all right, on my x-axis. Primary vertical, this is going to be days missed Y. right? And my title, you can just go ahead and double click it, Control A to highlight everything there, and I'll call this example 3. Now for this one, is there a positive relationship, a negative relationship, or a no relationship? And here we can clearly see here that this is a positive relationship, right? This is a positive relationship. So that is how you go ahead and construct a scatter plot by hand in Excel. And that's also how you identify the relationship. And this completes section 2.4. And stay tuned for section 3.1. Keep up the hard work, everybody. Thank you.